Welcome to EPG Pathashala. I am A. Poshadri, Assistant Professor, College of Food Science and Technology, Professor Jayashankar, Telangana State Agriculture University, Hyderabad. Today we are going to discuss about non-destructive food analysis under the course of Advances in Food Science and Technology. So before going to in detail about non-destructive food analysis, when you look at the objectives of this non-destructive food analysis is, so what are the other techniques other than destructive methods? What we are doing in analysis, part of food analysis, most of our techniques are the destructive methods. Then after analyzing that sample need to be thrown out. That is the present situation. So, and some analysis methods we get only superficial information, not the complete information. If you want a complete information and without destructing that material, then there should be some other technique, that is non-destructive food analysis. Those non-destructive food analysis are latest technologies, and where we no need to destruct, we no need to disintegrate any food material, and we can know the complete information of that food. So that is the objective of this, and these are the latest techniques, and few are practicing in different countries, especially in US, Europe and other parts of the world. And in India, slowly in few areas we are using this non-destructive technologies for monitoring the quality of food items. When you look at the general food analysis, for example, in our conventional food analysis methods, if you want to analyze the moisture content in your red gram, tur dal, so then you cannot use as such tur dal for the assessment of moisture in the food. First, what we are doing, we are grinding that dal, we are converting into powder. That means we are destructing that powder. Then we are keeping that sample in by normal hot air oven method. We are keeping the sample in petri plates or in a moisture boxes, and we are keeping in the hot air oven. After that analysis, we are not using that sample for others. For example, if you are analyzing the sample in a meat product, a canned meat product, and where you want to analyze the microbial contaminants in microbial contamination or spoilage or any, for example, a boneless meat. There is a bone in that. So you are analyzing randomly boneless meat sample. Then in that case, you have to open all the boxes, all the tin cans. Then you are wasting so much of material in that case, and so many labor is involving in that, and so much of time is taking. So when you use this non-destructive method, by passing through the spectral imaging, hyperspectral imaging system, you are identifying a particular sample or a particular bottle or a particular can is having this bone in that boneless meat. So that means the identification is easy without breaking that material, without damaging that material. That means, so non-destructive methods are highly preferred than the destructive methods, because in destructive case you are damaging the sample and your sample is not useful for the next, and sometimes you cannot go for recycling also. So your packing material is you are wasting, and so many samples you are collecting in batch process or in a continuous production process, in every line or in every stage you are collecting the sample, you are cutting the packets, you are checking. That means in a day you are wasting in cages of samples or cages of materials you are wasting. And in case if you use these non-destructive methods, you no need to waste that material. So you can get the complete information by using these image spectral systems. In order to maintain better food quality and safety, and we need to ensure the quality of product by using different techniques. So the present day techniques all are destructive methods. So in order to develop one efficient tool to maintain the quality of in a process or in a product, so there should be some specific methodology kind of non-destructive methods, where we can in this non-destructive method again you can, in general imaging is not sufficient, because in image, when you take image of a product, you know only appearance, size, shape, volume, its texture only, but not inside what are the other properties. And in case of spectrophotometric method, there you know only analysis point of view. For example, you can analyze some minerals, some vitamins, some nutrients, but not the physical properties, that appearance, color, size. Because you cannot, even in spectrophotometric method, you cannot keep the sample inside the spectrophotometer. The sample size also varies. So in this case, so in order to develop a better food safety and quality control techniques in under non-destructive method, it is better to combine imaging and spectroscopy. So that's why we call it as hyper imaging and spectroscopy is another, the new method has come. And under this method, we superficially, we spatially, we are measuring the color, size, shape, texture by imaging, and by spectrophotometrically we are checking the internal quality of the product in terms of its nutrients, in terms of its other important properties. So in this non-destructive method, we are taking the imaging of a product by physical. That means you can measure size, shape of that product, and by changing monochromatic images. That means a color of the products. Again, in spectrophotometric method also, we can keep the sample in the cuvette and we can measure its nutrients, and we are measuring the wavelength, and we draw the peak of that spectrophotometric method, and by that peak and the optical density and the transmittance or absorptions of the sample or analyte can be measured very well, and by that way we can ensure the quality of the product inline process as well as after during quality control stages and quality assurance stages, we can get the better view of that product. So if we see the conventional spectrophotometric method, we are measuring only the chemical properties, nutritional properties, and that again it's impossible to keep a big size fruit or something very minute size inside the spectrophotometric method. So in that case, you require the image sensing system. So last 20 years, if we look at the latest developments in these non-destructive methods, so USDA, United States of Agriculture Department, and USFDA, they are working togetherly for developing this hyper image spectrophotometric methodology to evaluate the quality of the food items. So initially they have used these techniques for different foods. First they used it for meat products, poultry birds, its quality, and some fruits. Like that, where they are analyzing the safety and quality of the product. Here I can give one example that, for example, if some metal is there in a food, a packed food. So in this general qualitative methods, you cannot measure that whether the metal is there or not. If you have this image sensing or spectrophotometric method inline process, if any defects or any foreign hazard is present in that packet, so it will sense that, and it will it will separate from the original product. So wherever the defects in the quality of the product, defects in the quality of the packing materials, or defects in the bottle, defects in the can, so by this image sensing methodology they identify it and they separate it from the original lot. So by that way, so the end product, the whatever the product packed in the packing materials will be a completely quality and safe product, or the defect products are which are deviating from the original quality are separating from that, and they are used for recycling, or they may be disposed directly. And this USFDA also conducting research for fundamental research how to use this image sensing technology in different food applications. For example, poultry, fruits and vegetables, milk products, meat products. In all the food cases, they are conducting research on these techniques. And especially these image sensing techniques are very important where the inline processing, continuous processing, where batch process is not permitted. If it is a continuous process, there may be a few defects. So those identification of those defects in continuous process or inline process in the industry is difficult. So in that case, if you fix any image sensing mechanism, for example, when you are filling a bottle, then you should maintain certain head space. If head space is lesser than that, then identifying by a common man it is difficult, or by a technician is also difficult. It's only image sensing, and whenever the head space or the filling space of the bottle is less, then it will separate it from the original lot. All the half-filled bottles are separated from the filled bottles. So those half-filled bottles again recycled, and by that way you can minimize the quality defects or minimize the safety issues, and we can protect the consumer health. So here in picture you can see the how this spectrum, full spectrum data, this image sensing spectroscopic data, hyperspectral lines are used for these birds. For example, you can measure the carcass length or any defects in that carcass or a dressed poultry body. Is there any? So here the chicken poultry bodies are hanged on this grill. So you can find is there any defects in that, and those defects and color changes are measured by spectrophotometrically. If any defect, and the product will be separated from the original lot. And even we can measure the freshness of a fish products. For example, fish is aqua product. So if you want to measure the fresh, how fresh it is, how many days back it was harvested. So in that case, so when you use image sensing methodology, and you can clearly find that this particular fish is spoiled and this is not spoiled. So in next slide, students, you can see the slide of that and how the fish picture images are carried out. So if it is spoiled and the image of the fish is looking like a red color, here in this picture you can see that red colored fish means the red colored spot means that fish is spoiled when compared to this other fresh one. So the fresh one you can see the original fresh pics, but in case of spoiled one, where you can see the red colored fish in aqua products. Aqua product freshness, in aqua product freshness, that means how old this fish is when it was harvested, and whether this fish is kept under refrigerated conditions or not, or any storage condition, and what part of the fish is get damaged, what are the epidermal cells are got damaged, so how many days it's kept under the refrigerator. So all these things can also judge with the help of image spectroscopic methods. So that means when you keep this fish sample under the image spectroscopy, then that means when this product is kept, when it is harvested, and how long it can be stored for under refrigerated conditions. So it can predict the storage life of that product. So that is the other advantage with this image spectroscopic method. Or sometimes even it will give the complete information. For example, organoleptic quality, that means sensory point of view, its smell, flavor, color, taste. So all organoleptic properties it is in spectrophotic method in organoleptic properties, especially textures, softness, how soft it is, and the color of that product. The product is also measured in this image spectroscopic sensing methodology. So by that way, so whether this fish is stored one or the fresh one or is spoiled. Nowadays there is something called, if you store a fish in a packet, for example, if it gets spoiled, after some times you will see some color changes in the packing material. So such a sensing systems have come. So if any changes happens in the color of the packing material, that means that fish food or that aqua food got spoiled. So general aqua food is packed in a blue color packets. When this blue color changes to yellow, that means the fish is spoiled. So like that, biosensing, and they are coupling with image sensing and biosensing, coupling with enzymatic action, then they are predicting the storage life of the fish and other aqua products. So that kind of technology also come to monitor the quality control aspects of the fish products. And even in fish also, for example, deboned fish, pins are there, or for example fish patties are there. In that case, so if any bone is there or any pins are there in the patties or fish products or fish balls products or fish value added products, so it is difficult to identify the tiny pins are in that product. So when you pass that product through the image sensing, and it will find where these pins are present, in which packet it is present. So here you need to cut only that packet which is contain this pin. So in conventional method, and to identify that pin in the packet, at least we have to cut 100 packets. So there the 100 packets are waste, and the raw material is waste, and the time to packing is the waste, and the persons involved in that packing are waste. Okay, it's a time consuming and laborious process. So whereas this non-destructive method, so exactly which packet contains the defects or which packet is having that pins, so it is identified and it's separated from the original product by using image sensing and spectroscopic methods. and bruise detection of apple. So because of this handling system during post harvesting of a fruits or vegetables, there may be because of our harvesting equipments, or because sometimes fruits may fall from plant to land, so in that case it may get damages, bruising, small bruises may happen because of handling equipment, because of harvesting equipment, or because of handling. So these bruises sometimes very minute, you cannot identify it, but over the period these bruises develops, and it may be a habitat for the growth of microorganisms, and it further spoils your fruit. So in that case, so when any small, minute or a tiny bruise is there on the fruit, and you can identify very well by using this imaging and spectral methods. So in this method, this hyper spectral imaging technology is very well useful to detect minute bruises in the fruit. For example, here you can see the picture, in this picture, apple fruit. So a minute bruise is present on that apple, and that bruise is developed, and it is kind of an X-ray. So if any defects happens in our bone, so how we take an X-ray. Similarly, if any defects in that fruit, on that fruit, that those bruises sizes is measured, and so for example, if we take a triplicate, not in a single way, when we take triplicate, then we will have three values. That average of value is equivalent to the bruise size. So in this picture you can see a bruise at 750 nanometer, a bruise at 850 nanometer, a bruise at 960 nanometer. The average of 3 will be the right bruise size. So that you can see here, 750 plus 820 plus 960 by 3, you will get the average image of that bruise. So again, in citrus fruits, as you know, citrus fruits are maybe susceptible to the fungus growth. So some fungus may attack on the citrus fruit, and if any fungal attack on the citrus fruit, it damages, and it's a habitat, again it's a habitat for fungus, and fungus will cause adverse effect in human body when we take aflatoxins or some other mycotoxins will be released into your body. So from virginal lot, we have some 1 lakh lemon fruits. It's highly difficult to identify the which fruit got this what you call the infection from the fungus. So that can be identified when passing these fruits over the conveyor belt or any conveying system, and in one point you will fix the image sensing system and spectrophotometric imaging sensing system, and this system will measure that fungal damage, or take the image of that fungal spoilage on that fruit, and average of that fruits will take it out, and we'll separate that fruit where this fungus got infected. Again, here also we will take the average of 3 values, and the average will be the size of that bruise in citrus fruits. And when we separate these infected fruits from the original lot, and that other fruits may not get infected by pathogen. That means if something, the raw material which is infected always need to be separated from the original produce or fresh produce. Why? Because when they store together, and then fungus may attack on other fruit like that, so over the period the whole lot may be get damaged. So because of that, it's better the fruit which is infected by this fungi need to be separated. So by general methods or conventional method, it is highly difficult. When you have this non-destructive kind of methods, so it's very easy for us to separate the damaged one from the undamaged fruits. Students, we can see how the infected fruits of citrus, especially mandarins, lemons, or sweet oranges, any kind of citrus fruit may susceptible to fungal growth. So that infected or damaged fruit can be identified like your X-ray system, and then that fruit can be separated from the lot while passing through the chain conveyor or a belt conveyor systems. So far we are discussing about imaging advantages. When combine image sensing as well as spectrophotometric method, then you can measure directly some compositional point of view. For example, how much sugar is present. If melons are there, watermelons are there, any fruit is there. So how the sugar is distributed in the fruit. in what, for example, in early stage of ripening, in some parts are tasty and some portion is not tasty, because that the part which is tasty, because there the sugar distribution is more. In other parts where the fruit is not sweet, that means there the sugar distribution is less. So that means by using this image sensing methodology and image sensing combined with spectrophotometric, we will measure the how sugar is distributed in the fruit, and which part is having more sugar and which is not having sugar, and how many days may take to distribute the sugar inside the fruit. All these parameters can be easily measured with the help of imaging and spectrophotometric sensing. Okay, and we can measure the Brix content. As you know, the sugar content in fruits is measured in terms of the Brix, and what is the Brix of that particular fruit also can be measured with the help of this method. And nowadays, for example, in conventional destructive method, if you want to measure the Brix of a fruit, a melon or a mango or any other fruit, for that reason first we have to cut the fruit, we have to extract the juice and take that juice and put it on Brix meter or hand refractometer, then you read under the light, or you use battery or like that. So that means there you are damaging whole fruit here. So that means to check the quality or whether the fruit is ripened or not, or matured or not, all these things in destructive method systems where you are breaking the fruit, and after testing that fruit is a waste material. And in case of non-destructive method, by without breaking that fruit, you can directly judge the what exactly sugar content inside the fruit, and where sugar is distributed, and which part is still contain high amount of starch. So all these things can be measured very well with the help of this method. So here students, you can see pictures how the unripened fruit, where the Brix, for example, Brix meter, here it is a Brix meter from 0 to 20 degrees reading. For example, complete when it is a blue color, that means the Brix is around 0 to less than 5. When it is light green, it is 5 to 10, and when it is light green to reddish color, there the sugars are more. So by this image sensing, we can find that, and which fruit is ripened and which is not ripened. And even during sorting also, sorting of the fruit also, you can separate by image sensing. Ripened fruits are into one lot, and semi-ripened into one lot, and over-ripened into another lot. So that can be, that easy sorting and grading can be done easily with the help of this method. So this same techniques also used for the ripening of the fruits, kind of tomatoes, or any defects in the pickling process. As you know, cucumbers, we do gherkin processing. Gherkins are, we are making pickling by dipping some vegetables in brine solution, or acetic acid solution, or vinegar solution. So in that case, so sometimes there may be a shrinkage in the cucumber, or there may be a excess shrinkage, or some floating on that syrup. So all these defects we may see in the pickling process. So those defects can be easily identified with the help of this image spectrum methodology. And also this image spectrum methodology also used for the checking of the internal quality of the wheat kernel. So as you know, wheat is an important crop. So wheat, the parameters, what is the protein content in the wheat? So based on the protein content, wheat quality is judged. So when you check the protein content with the imaging and spectroscopy method, then you can we can have the better quality judgment and better quality safety. In destructive methods, what we are doing, we are grinding the wheat and converting it to flour, and after that we are adding water to the flour, we are making into dough, and that dough is need to be check for its protein content, or check for its bread properties or dough properties, all these things. So whereas in this case, without breaking the wheat, and we can judge the complete parameters, complete quality control parameters. So by that way, so these destructive methods are not much preferred over the undestructive methods. In this non-destructive method, there is another important advantage. For example, in conventional methods, so if you want to analyze the quality control process, in quality control process, for example, if you want to check the defects in the biscuit, then what will do, you are cutting the biscuit packet, and you are opening the biscuits, and you are grinding into the powder, and that powder is used for the analysis and quality checking purpose. So that means, for example, if you are selecting the samples randomly in the lot, that means in a day you are going to choose some 1,000 packets in a day. So that means all 1,000 packets need to be opened and cut it, and packing materials is and waste of that, and the product is going to be waste. And these are the and moreover the people are involving there for picking up the sample or sample preparation and analysis. So in this image sensing and spectroscopic method, so just you take the, it will sense that sense the spectrophotometrically and imaging of that complete biscuit within the packet. So you don't need to cut the packet, you don't need to take out the biscuits, and you don't need to disturb that. Just you can by passing the image sensing spectroscopy, by keeping the product image sensing and spectroscopy under that, then you will get the image of that and how biscuits are, and any defects are there or any hazards are there. All these things can be identified without damaging that. So by that way, so this in this way, so non-destructive method is more preferred, and it is a simple machine, and the machine is easy, and here laborers, one person can handle the whole lot. So whereas in case of conventional method, destruction methods, you require quality control chemist and sample holders, sample preparation people, and waste of material. So this is happening nowadays. So in years to come, then this technology will be very useful. Already in our India, few companies like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, they are using this image and spectroscopic technology for separating the defect bottles, the bottle which are having less head space or more head space, or unfilled bottle, or any other foreign physical materials in the bottle. All these things are identifying with the help of this technology. And in other countries, they are using this technology for identifying defects in the food packet, especially these boneless meat products. So if some packets contain any bone in that, any bone is present in any packet, that means identification is difficult in general methods. When you use this image sensing, then it will take the picture of X-ray. So how, in which packet this bone is present. The only one packet we can cut it. In conventional method, we have to cut minimum 10 packets to identify the one. So that is that can be avoided by using this technology. So from starting to ending, so in different food groups, so image sensing, we are taking the images, by images, any size of the food, any size, shape of that food, we can take the image of it. By combining spectrophotometric, we can check the inside properties, especially chemical properties, nutritional properties, physicochemical properties, functional properties can be measured very well with the spectroscopy. So by combining imaging and spectroscopy, you can apply on any fruit or any vegetable or any food, then we can easily judge we can easily identify the defects in the food or in a packet even. So the way that in packets, any kind of packet, even in tin cans also, it will identify the problem. Tin cans, glass bottles, laminated pouches, any packet. So it will identify, and it will save our time, and it will protect, moreover it protect the consumer's health. So non-destructive methods are having lot of advantages in the present context to identify the minute problems in the food processing lines or in the quality control inspection system. And moreover, these methods will strengthen the further quality control measures in the country or in the world. So for further, if you have any doubts in this chapter, you can refer the e-text, or you can go through the suggested books, or you can refer to the international journals. For example, Journal of Food Properties, Journal of Food Engineering. These two are the important journals where you can find a lot of information related to image sensing and image spectroscopic methods, and how they are applying in different foods. And even students can do some research for identifying any defects in the food in Indian context. Thank you.